Hello and welcome to the Top Bins Premier League preview show. We've got all of this weekend's Premier League action covered. I'm very happy that I'm actually still in the lead in the prediction race. Only just, I'm playing at the moment. I'm playing a flat back six. I'm just trying to keep up with Davey at the moment, and then just a bank of four in front. No strikers, don't matter. 6-6 this week. Let's have a look at the results.
One exact each.
One exact each, both in the same game as well, the United game. We were close in some other ones, but close ain't good enough, so we're not gonna sit here and moan about that.
You might have seen as well that after he did say he was just going to make his predictions after me, I did change it to an 11-all draw, but I honesty took the better, and I was a gentleman.
Thanks, Dave. All right, look, straight into business. This is what we're here to do. What a game to start us off on a weekend. It's tasty. It's tasty. Bournemouth against United. David, you talk to me. You tell me what's happening in this game.
Man United have started to play better football. I said it in the review of last week's games. The midfield started to click a bit better. Martial's scoring goals. As long as Pogba doesn't have to shoot any penalties, they might be all right. But Bournemouth at home. Bournemouth now 2 decent games back-to-back, which is something they've struggled to do.
If you call Bournemouth, they're going to lose, Dave. If you call it, it's just the way it happens, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but I'm not going to. I'm going to call a draw. I actually think a score draw because United are playing better and Bournemouth are too, and I think 2 is exactly where it'll be. 2-2.
All right. I was going to go there, but I'm actually going to get my prediction. My prediction for an upset last week didn't quite come off. It was a spectacular failure. But I am going to go for a bit of an upset this week.
So Man United win?
Man United 4-0 win. No, I'm going to go just because I think Bournemouth at home, that pitch is nice and tight. Bournemouth have got lots of confidence and they've got strikers in good form. United are frail at the back. They've not stopped conceding this season throughout all their games, even with De Gea. And I think that Bournemouth have got enough about them at home to get right amongst it and cause United a lot of problems. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Bournemouth.
Wow, yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
All right, so if you disagree, or Jose, if you're watching, chuck it in the comments, mate. Cardiff Leicester.
Cardiff have been better the last couple of weeks.
They've been better, but they lost 4-1 last weekend.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't go to Anfield and win at the moment. No one's done that for a long time. City can't do that. No. What makes you think Cardiff can do that?
True. Neil Warnock, mate.
Well, yeah. He looks so good in his shorts when he's out on.
He's English Pep Guardiola, isn't it?
Look, at home, the crowd have been incredible. I mean, the crowd in Cardiff have sounded as good as any crowd in the land, and even in the actual non-sheep shagging land.
Without talking too much about the incident that happened after the game at Leicester, that's going to have an effect, surely.
Well, you've got to expect that it's going to fire them up, but at the same time, a lot of these players were very close, and I know. You lose someone that you respect and you think a lot of. It could maybe you try too hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to know, but look, I see them taking a lot of motivation out of that. There'll be a lot in them to want to do something. They've postponed the Carabao Cup game, so they'll be fresher. For me, Leicester win this game just on that and 2-0.
Yeah, I think Leicester. I agree. I think Leicester are going to be fired up for this game. I think just so there's a lot of emotion behind this, and I think they're going to come out absolutely flying out the blocks. I think Cardiff are going to have the benefit of the home crowd, which will help them somewhat. But I also think that Leicester have got a bit too much quality for them. I think that Leicester have got goals in them. Even though they managed to fluke one against West Ham, I still think they've got goals in them. I think it's a game that's made for someone like Vardy to go and bang a few in. I'm going to go with 2-1 Leicester.
2-1, like it.
3-1 Leicester.
Whoa,
I'm changing it.
3-1 Leicester.
3-1 Leicester. 3-1 Leicester.
All right.
Everton Brighton.
At Goodison. Everton, look, they weren't that great against United. They should have done better.
They weren't terrible either, but they weren't great.
I felt like they should have taken a point out of that game. Brighton played pretty well again.
Solid.
Set up really well. They travelled, and the first half they certainly played very well against City. So they can go away and play a good game of football.
Yeah.
I just feel like Everton will have got a rocket. I think they had good chances to take points out of that United game, and for that reason, I'll put them 2-1.
Yeah, I think at home Everton have probably got to be the favourites for this game. I think our Lord and Saviour, Gylfi Sigurdsson, phenomenal little player, will have a big impact in a game like this. It really is about which Everton comes out on the day, and there's an Everton that we've seen that are timid and don't take chances and aren't fiery in midfield and are defensively
fiery in
poor.
midfield with Gylfi. How was that possible?
Well, but he's not really fiery, is he? He's an Iceman. He's not really. But that I think that there's also the other Everton that we've seen that is full of quality, full of attacking flair, and a bit of kind of panache going forward with the likes of Walcott and Richarlison and Sigurdsson. They've got lots of quality there going forward. It really depends which one comes out, but you've got to go with I've got to agree with Dave that Silva will get right up them after that performance at United, and will expect a lot better, especially at home to Brighton. I'm going to go with an Everton 3-0 win.
3-0?
Yeah, I think they're going to get. Wow. I think they're going to do it.
Well, that one game out of 5 where Gylfi does show up, I'm sure it'll be this game.
Mate, he showed up against United.
Oh shit! Then you're stuffed.
It was great.
You're stuffed. Brighton will win then.
All right, Newcastle, Watford. Can only be one winner in this one.
Yep, I'm not even going to entertain a long discussion on this one. For me, Watford win it. It's just a matter of how much. Yeah. Away, not really that concerned. Newcastle is so shit at the moment. 2-0 Watford.
Yeah, I think Watford are going to win. They have got a lot of players that are banging form. Pereira's looking very, very spicy at the moment, and against a team like Newcastle, you can see him doing the business again and getting another goal or two.
Oh, and it'll be a fizzy banger, right? Because that's all he does.
Is Troy Deeney back, or is he still out?
Don't know. He certainly didn't look very happy being on the sidelines last week. But this would be his perfect game back,
game for him. It would be. I still think, regardless of whether he's playing or not, I think Watford will do the business. I'm going to go 3-0.
3-0. Cool.
West Ham Burnley.
Now this is actually interesting.
Tough game to call this one.
It is.
I'm going to let you call it first then.
Seems to be the tactic now. You are still winning, you know that.
I know,
right?
I know. I want to stay there, mate.
You guys can see this is a bit of a mark of respect. I'll take that. Look, West Ham, I think were very, very lucky last week. I think Burnley have just, I don't know. They could have lost 8-0 on the weekend, but then they're playing a very good Chelsea side, and I don't know. I don't see the home advantage doing a lot for West Ham. Mark Noble won't be playing. No, I'm not sure about Arnautovic, whether he'll be back or not.
They said he was sick, and so I reckon he'll probably be all right.
They say that, but he's carried an injury through the last few weeks as well. So I do wonder how sick he was.
Yeah.
But look, let's assume he's playing. I just don't see goals in Burnley, and I don't really see a great deal of goals coming from West Ham either. Yeah. And for that reason, I'm going to go 1-1 draw. 1-1. I'm going to go... it's a tough one. I'm going to go for a Burnley win in this one. I think that West Ham are terrible, and I think at the back they're really, really bad. And I think that although Burnley haven't looked free-flowing going forward, we've seen in games where they've played lesser opposition, teams like Cardiff, they've actually turned up and played. This is the kind of game that Dicey will know he has to go and get a result from. And I think because of that, I think Burnley will set their stall out. They'll be compact, they'll be tight, but they'll also have something going forward. I think West Ham are very vulnerable at the back, and that'll create chances for Burnley. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Burnley. 2-1 Burnley.
Yep. Game of the weekend.
Spicy.
What a cracker this is. Arsenal against Liverpool. Got to be goals in this, Dave.
There'll be goals. There will be goals. And this fixture last year was a cracker.
Who's going to score that? I mean, historically, this game, the 4-4 Arshavin. The Arshavin game, and there's been some crackers between Arsenal and Liverpool.
There have been.
Absolute
two
crackers.
Teams that'll have a crack at each other.
Yeah.
Two teams that thrive on that kind of football being played by the opposition. For me, you got two sets of forwards playing well, scoring goals, but you've only got one set of defence playing well. And tip of the cap to Burnley, he is playing very well, but the guys in front of him are not helping at all. And for that reason, for me, Liverpool are going to come out winners in this, and I think that I'm talking 3-1 winners.
I don't know. It's a tough game. I agree with you. I think Liverpool are probably going to get the win in this game, and they've got so much quality through their squad that you find it hard to believe that Arsenal are going to be able to contain them, especially as Lacazette. Even though you said that they're striking, Lacazette didn't look good against Crystal Palace.
No,
on
he
the
didn't.
weekend.
You're right.
He only had one shot and it was off target, and
Bit of hand
he's just a bit he's a bit hit and miss, and I'm not sure. I think Liverpool are starting to hit a bit of a stride with the Champions League win during the week and then the weekend's fixture against Cardiff. Having said that, Arsenal are scoring goals every game. I think there will be lots of goals in this game.
Oh, buddy, give it to me. You a lot of talk here. I want a prediction.
I'm going 3-1 to Liverpool.
Oh, so you're backing me on this one? Well, look at that.
3-1, mate.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's a tough one though. It could
It is a tough one.
It could be tighter than that. It could end up being like a 2-1 or 1-0.
It could be a good score draw, or even like I'll tell you one thing. It's got cracker written.
I can't wait for it, mate. It's going to be an absolute fizzy banger, that one. Wolves and Spurs. This is a very interesting game. Two teams that will be needing those 3 points badly. Yeah. After their recent performances.
Wolves really need to find the form that's helped them, and being at home will be a massive help. And Nuno's really got to either figure out a plan B or get plan A working again, because it hasn't looked good the last couple of weeks.
No.
That said, Spurs haven't either. I mean, we talked in the review about Spurs against Man City. They weren't really at the races for long chunks of the game. They weren't helped by the pitch. They'll get a better pitch at Molineux than they had at Wembley, which pains me to say. And look, talking about motivation, you've got an absolute Spurs legend in Glenn Hoddle who's recovering, and I hope you do continue to recover, sir. Fabulous player. And that will be some motivation, I'm sure.
Yep.
And look, it feels hard to go against Spurs, but Poch doesn't seem to be getting it out of them this year.
No.
And I'm going to back Spurs, but I'm going to back them 1-0. And it's not a lot, is it?
1-0. I think this game's going to be a draw, Dave. I think it's going to be a draw. I think that we've seen... So there's a few factors, again, in this that reason why I'm going for a draw in this. We've seen that against the big teams, Wolves really step up this season. Every time they've played a big team, they have played out of their skin, and there's got to be a reason for that. They've got to be fired up against teams when they know they're up against it, and Spurs are a big team, but they're not playing well at the moment. They're not playing like a big team right now.
Right.
This is also a very late kickoff on a Saturday night. It's a 7:45 kickoff, unusual for the Premier League, and I think that is going to create a special atmosphere at Molineux.
Well, it is. I mean, Glenn Murray will miss it because he'll be asleep.
He takes his pills at 5, and
it's
then
a long time after the 4 o'clock
dinner at 5:30.
That's right. I mean,
he's in bed, but. So we'll let you know what the score is, Glenn.
Don't worry, Glenn. I got you. Health is important to me.
Catch a review next week, mate, and we'll tell you what happened in that game. So because of all those facts, I think Molineux is going to be buzzing because 7:45 fans are going to be able to go down to Boozer for a few hours before the game, have a few pints, get right up for it, lift that team even more. They're already proven they can do well against the big teams. I think this is going to be a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
Yeah.
Right.
City and Southampton. Man City are going to win 5-0. Done.
4-0.
It's just
Mark Hughes. Okay, big question because we've got 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's use it.
Yeah.
They lose 4-0, 5-0 this weekend, one or the other. Does Hughes finally get sacked?
He's got to go at some point.
How long?
When does he go? I find it hard to believe that the City game is going to tip it because they cannot expect to win.
No, but how long?
But I still think that it's definitely a possibility that it could tip it over. I mean, they're going to get spanked. We've
talked about the vacant Real Madrid job this morning that's just become open. Maybe Mark Hughes has got designs on that.
If they don't win, if they don't beat Southampton, I will wear a Liverpool shirt next week.
It's not even harsh. I want a Chelsea shirt.
No, I'll wear a Chelsea shirt.
Oh,
that'd be horrible for me. So City,
man,
you better pull it out. I tell
you
you,
wearing a Liverpool shirt, it's not even that painful.
Sure,
I'd wear a QPR shirt and not feel too bad about it.
I was just doing it because I thought it'd be nice for you, mate.
You need to wear a Stevie G shirt.
Very good. All right, let's move on. We going 4-0 for the second
Oh yeah,
one,
4-0 all day.
Right,
I mean, Southampton, you fucking suck.
I'm going 5. Chelsea, Crystal Palace.
Chelsea win. It's just a matter of how much. And Crystal Palace, look, yep, great, came back. You're not going to get 2 penalties every game.
Nah.
Zaha, in open play, bar the penalty earned, didn't really
Chelsea
look like he was going to score a goal. And Chelsea, I mean, Rudiger will do it himself again. For that reason, but Hennessy is bang in form.
Yep.
And I'm only backing Chelsea 3-0. And with the way they're scoring goals this season, 3-0 feels light, but Hennessy's just been great.
Yeah, I'm going to go... I think if Hazard's back, that'll add even more danger to Chelsea. I think because of that, they're going to win 4-1. I think Palace might get goal. I think you know what, I saw a bit in Palace at the weekend that even though they got 2 penalties, Zaha looked lively, Townsend looked lively. They had spells where they played some nice football, and I don't think they'll get much of the ball. I think Chelsea will starve them with the ball, but when they do get it, they'll be able to counter. I think Zaha's pace might cause them a few problems. I think they'll nick a goal, but I'm going 4-1 Chelsea this week.
All right.
Yeah.
Leaves us with a real cracker.
A real humdinger of a game this weekend to finish us off, boys. We've got Huddersfield and Fulham.
Look, Huddersfield have threatened to score. This is where they score, right? They've
Surely.
got to score.
Surely.
If Huddersfield can't score against Fulham, you cannot stay in this league.
Nah.
It's that simple.
I don't think you can score against anyone if you can't score
No,
against them.
this is like scoring against, the I don't know, Kashmir under 8s.
Blind Kashmir.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, they've just got to score in this game. They will not get a better opportunity to gain 3 points at home than they do against Fulham. And you know what? I think they're still going to struggle. And they've been so poor at the back last week. I think Fulham could do enough to pinch this. And it's a hard game to call. I'm going to let you have this one, buddy.
I think games like this, they're so big, right? Those games like this, they're so important to the two teams. I think that stifles the teams a little bit.
It does.
They're already Huddersfield anyway are pretty poor going forward. I think that Fulham do have goals in them, but I also think they'll concede. I think a lot of these games generally finish in a draw, and so I'm going to go 1-1. It could be a 2-1 Fulham, but I'm going to go 1-1.
And you're right. I think you really nailed it. When there's so much pressure in these 6-pointers, if you will, you don't want to be the guy that makes the mistake, do you? And you don't want to be the team that makes the mistake. So people play within themselves, and you'll see both managers out there trying to push their teams on, and they'll be too scared because they don't want to be the guy that makes the mistake. And an early goal in this game could actually make it a cracker.
Yeah, it could.
Because the team that's conceded will pull the pin out and go.
You kind of feel that it's got to be Fulham that get the first goal though to really bring Huddersfield out and attack them, because otherwise you feel that Wagner's going to try and play sensibly, and he'll feel that he'll get enough chances just by sitting nice and compact, organised, and doing the basics right to be able to get a few chances and hopefully take one of them. So you got to think that if Fulham get the first goal, it'll be a cracker. Otherwise, it'll probably be quite close.
And you've called 1-1.
Yeah, what are you going for, Dave?
It's so hard. I don't see Huddersfield scoring goals even against the shitty Fulham defence. That is easily the worst in the league. And yet, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna back them at home. I really think they'll be much better at the back this week after last week. They were appalling. Wagner called them out, rightly so. I'm going 2-1 Huddersfield. 2-1
Huddersfield. The Terriers. Be delighted with that if they get it. All right. Look, we've given you our predictions. Let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure you hit like on this video. Make sure you hit subscribe. We've loved it. You've loved it. This has been the Top Bins Premier League preview. Thank you very much.